Hi, Roubik.
Hi, hi.
How are you today?
Thanks, God. Thank you very much for inviting me in your show.
Thank you for inviting us to your house,
Yeah.
to your home.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
This is the house of God, so it's house for everyone. And
Yeah.
you're welcome to this show. You're welcome to my church, this church. God
Thank you
bless.
so much.
My name is Roubik. I am from a family with 3 brothers, which they are all pastors. And I grew up in Iran. I was born in Tehran. And actually, since I came to America 30 years ago, I have a story about my persecution and my life in Iran. That's why I came here. So if you want, you can continue your questions.
Of course. Tell me your story. Tell me about your family. 3 pastors.
Yeah.
It's a lot in one
Yeah.
family.
Actually, my dad was born in a Muslim family, which my grandfather was Italian mafia.
Oh, from Italian mafia to pastor. It's interesting.
It was very interesting because I didn't know that my dad was adopted by Armenian family, but his real mother was Muslim and his real father was Italian. So I grew up with a family, then later I find out all this, but because my mom married twice, so 2 brothers were from first marriage, me and my youngest brother were from second marriage. And it was hard because since I was born, we had a culture that Armenian, they can't accept the Muslim. And when your father or mother is from different religion, different background. So I had that cultural and religion difference from childhood.
Wait, if Armenians, they're Orthodox, right?
Armenian are Orthodox, but our church was Protestant.
Protestant.
So my mom went to Protestant church, become a member. Then me and my 3 brothers, we grew up in Protestant church.
The one difference between Catholics and Protestants I didn't know of is that Catholics believe that bread and wine actually turns into the body and blood of Christ. Protestants believe it stays bread and wine and only represents Christ.
We had a little church denominational issue because Armenian, they were telling us you're Orthodox. Why you change your religion? Or then, with all this stuff, revolution started. When revolution started in Iran and Khomeini came to power, everything started change. For example, the war started, Iran and Iraq war. And my company, I was working with telephone company, they forced me to go to war. They said, because you have to defend your country. And on that time, I was 20 years old. So I went to war, and 1 year I was in war as an army. Then I get married, and when I came back from war to my company, now they told me you have to go back to war zone Ahvaz and start to work for us to repair all the telephone company cables. And I had a team with me, so after my marriage, I went to war in Ahvaz. And for 7 years, I was working there. Very hard job, like the weather is like Phoenix, Arizona, so hot. And we started a home church. A home church, it means we invited Muslim, Arabs, Kurds, the people around us to hear the gospel, to hear the word of God. And pastors, as a person like me, there were a lot of Muslims, they asked me that we want to come and hear from you about Jesus.
Wow, it's unexpected.
And what happened when we start our church, our home church, then secret police started to continue to watch me. And after 7 years, they arrest me and put me in solitary. It was my punishment because by Islamic law, you are not allowed to speak about your own religion to Muslim. If you change your religion, you are subject to die, even though we call it infidel. So if a Muslim change from Islam to any other religion in Iran, they are subject for strong persecution. So they put me 28 days in solitary. After solitary, I went back to Tehran to be pastor for Armenians. So Armenian, because by generation, by nation, they are Christian. So government, they shouldn't do anything. But again, because I was active, every 2 weeks, secret police called me and for hours and hours, question again. They said, you are CIA. Maybe I look CIA, but I was not CIA, I swear God.
What did they ask you?
Oh, because after Islamic Revolution, the mind of Iranian regime is any pastors or any missionary, they come to Iran, they are CIA. This is their mentality. And they were so angry at us. So after 2 years back and forth with this police issue, secret police, I make a decision to come out of country. So with my pregnant wife and 2 little girls, we escaped Iran to Germany. 1993, we came out of Iran, we came to Germany. We were in Germany for 16 months.
My question, how did you get out?
On that time, it was like, I bought visa.
Oh, you bought it?
Yeah, I bought visa. I lost my homes, everything. So just buy some money. I just go to one Armenian guy. He prepaid for me tourist visa for friends. We came to Paris, and in the night with a smuggler and with my pregnant wife, 5 years old and 3 years old daughter, we passed the board from Paris to Germany, Heidelberg. And it's very, very, I wish I could make a movie about it.
Was it scary?
It was, because my wife was pregnant and it was very hard for her. And I remember when we passed in the night the border, and I was really, in my heart, I was like crying, miss my brothers, miss my family. Now with these 3 kids, what can I do? And we were in a dirty camp. In that camp in Heidelberg were from international, from every group they were there. So one day I went to welfare office, and the guy who is social, they say social office in Germany, he make fun of me, say, Pastor, why you don't pray that God give you 3-bedroom apartment? I was supported and make fun of me.
That's so
I
rude.
said, if I find a place, can you support that? Near his old co-workers say, I promise, but no one is giving you apartment as a refugee in this city, which Heidelberg is a tourist city. I went with this clergy in the street. I look at him and I say, God, show this man that don't make fun of me. But I promise you, if I got my home and our child was born, I promise you to build many new church here. And what happened, I went to first landlord with this clergy, and I said, sir, I lost everything in Iran. And I came with my wife and 3 kids now. Our son was born, and I need you help me to find the apartment. He looked at me and said, because Pastor, I'm a Christian, I give my apartment to you 3-bedroom.
Oh my God.
And the contract was 2,500 mark, and that time, 32 years ago, it was too high. So I brought the contract, and I called this social guy. I said, come sit near me and bring your co-worker. You make fun of me, and now I'm telling you, this is the contract, and you have to sign it. He was yelling, I can't. I said, listen, you make fun of me, and you make a deal. Now you have to sign it. He signed the contract.
He signed it.
He signed it.
It's a miracle.
So we went in a 3-bedroom house, very clean, very nice. But what we did, as I promised God, I purchased an old car. It was Audi, and I started to drive with my wife and 3 kids to help refugees in Germany. We drove 46,000 kilometers to plant 3 new small groups for refugees. So I went to German church. I said, in your city in Marburg, we have 200 refugees. I want to bring them once in the week in your church as a club. I want to start Armenian and Persian class. I want somebody to help them to learn German language and keep our community. By that way, after 46,000 miles, 2 months later, I see my money that government is giving from social is 600 mark more. So I went to that social guy and say, why you give me 600 mark more? He said, government, they make decision to pay you more because you didn't tell us you are helping with refugees. So when I tell this, it's a real story. I didn't make this story. So when I talk about that, I learned that when you have passion and when you have love, any country you go, that passion is making a big change. You don't sit and cry for Ukraine, for Armenia, for Iran. Oh, I lost my country. You start a fresh life. So that's why I'm really proud of now to share my heart to you for those audience that see this, that you can be survive in any condition if you have passion. And I have 5 words: your passion, patience, peace, power, and perseverance. If you have that, it's impossible you get depressed. But depression will come to you if we are just living for us. We are crying for us. We live for us. I'm preaching for you. That's your problem. You invited pastor.
How did you come to America?
So we went after 1993. We were in Germany. I applied for being in America with my wife and kids because my wife's brother was in California in Berlin. Our relatives mostly they moved here as immigrant. So I thought maybe that's better chance for my family to have American citizenship. And when you have American passport, there is more chance for you to travel in other countries. And actually, a little bit for rain. I have very sensitive to see every day it's cloud. I get depressed. So Germany was a country that 80% we see cloud and rain, and I said, no, it's too much. So we moved 1993 to California. But in 1993, when I came to start fresh life again, what happened in 1994, my brother was killed by Muslim terrorists
in Iran.
And my oldest brother, my oldest brother was 48 years old. His name was Haik Hoospianmer. So as I told you, you can click A Cry from Iran and you see his story. He died to save a pastor. He died because the pastor was Muslim converted. They keep him 10 years in prison. And my brother heard that in 870 they want to kill him silently. And my brother wrote a letter for United Nations to release this man, and he did that. By force of United Nations, they released Mehdi Dibaj, the pastor in jail, prison, and my brother, after 2 days, was kidnapped. They killed him with 26 knives. So I was here, I was crying because I love my brother so much. He was my mentor. No, I said, God, why you did this to me? So I don't want to make you cry.
You already made me cry.
I don't want to damage your makeup. I'm sorry. But
That's okay.
It was very strange for me that, again, when you come in a condition that now your brother is killed, your mother and father is far, you are dealing with 3 small children, you are in a new culture, you don't know well the language, you don't know the culture, you don't know everything, how you can survive again? And it's not because I'm Superman. It's not because I'm different. We are all humans. But when I came here, I remember I was registered to Glendale Community College. I was going with tear in my face to class and tear in my face come and go because I couldn't go back to my brother's funeral. What happened? I saw in Iranian TV this Islamic terrorist regime started to accuse my brother that he was CIA. That's why terrorists, we killed him. And what happened? I make a promise to go on TV and start a Voice of Love program.
Voice of love.
Voice of Love. So when I heard that my brother is now, I miss him. I make a decision to start an Iranian show to show love against hate. And I called an Iranian showman. His name was Amu Purang. He was very famous. I said, Amu Purang, Islamic government, they killed my brother, but I want to tell them love is more effective than hate. This man cried and said, Pastor Roubik, I give you half an hour TV show, but it's gonna be 2:00 in the Saturday morning. In the morning, I said, who is going to watch me 2:00? He said, my show is from 12 to 2, so I will introduce you, and 2:00 to 2:30, I give you a chance, but you have to pay $600. I said, okay, 30 years ago, $600, how I can pay that?
Is it like for for a month or
No, every time.
every time for 30 minutes, $600? Wow.
So what happened? I had no money, so because I lost everything, I started to paint the building. I went to make a contract and painting the
Oh, you
building
painted. Okay.
to get money for that. And because no church was supporting me at that time. So before we record the program and the Voice of Love comes, and I preach first Farsi and then Armenian and a little bit English, and I become so famous. In America, you can be very famous easily, and you can ruin your life easily.
Pros and
One
cons.
day they make you superstar, next day they put you in garbage can. This is capitalism. So what happened? In short time, I had 700 calls from that TV program, 2:00 until 2:30. And because before I recorded, so I was awake, I was listening, and I had my phone number. People start to call. Muslim, they start to call, Pastor, we are so sorry to hear your brother is dead. How we can love you, how we can help you. And I was listening and praying for people until 7:00 in the morning. So when I recorded my program before, and now in my program type, people call me, I had calls until 7 in the morning.
So the program ended up, but you keep
But the
answering?
people call me nonstop.
Oh, wow.
And I was in shock because next day is Sunday. So Saturday night when they were show, Sunday they don't have job. So it was changed. And what happened? I started a church in Burbank with 7 people. In 1 year, church come to 700.
It's impressive.
700. And I become one of the famous pastors among Armenian Iranian. But the problem didn't stop because Muslims, they called me, and 2 pastors, which they are business pastors, it's very painful. They warned me that they will not leave you alone here, even in America.
Why?
Because you're active among Muslim here, and Muslims, they don't like you be active in America.
Because you baptized Muslim people here, right?
1,200 Muslim in America. At the same time that I was here, I started to do different jobs. Because in Iran, our churches were under one umbrella. All the pastors, they had salary. But here, if you don't have member, you don't have money.
Yes.
So when my church grew, the church that I was famous, 700 people, they were all refugee. They were all mostly Armenian and Iranian in Burbank. And the American church that they gave me a place to preach, they came to me and say, how you bring these 700 people immediately in this church? We need rent, we need money. I said,
They
listen.
asked money from you.
Yeah. And I said, these people, they saw my program, The Voice of Love, and they don't know about tithing. They don't know about money. Why you force them? And I remember we had a lot of problem with that church. Make this story short. There was a setup here, and they sent a lady to my church. And the lady accused that this pastor verbally tried to kill me and said, I'm going to destroy you, and no one accepting him, but you don't believe. In the court, she brought a false witness, and government gave me terrorist threat in 2000 when it was a big attack for 9/11.
Yeah.
And they put me in LA County jail, 233 days in jail because you accused this lady for terrorist threat.
Wow.
And now imagine you are going to jail again here. Your name is in news, and now you are famous in opposite side. I'm telling my story to you. I'm not making joke of you.
In the 11th month after the attacks, 762 aliens were detained in connections with the FBI terrorism investigations for various immigration offenses, including overstaying their visas and entering the country illegally. And it's critical to point out that militant Islam does not equal Islam. Islam as a religion, like Christianity and Judaism, does not endorse violence.
So now my 3 kids again with my wife, they come and visit me in jail because the time goes to 9/11. It was a very tough time. The lawyer that I had, the lawyer told me, if you want to fight and go to trial, it takes at least 3 months more. DA wants you to accept this no contest for this verbally terrorist threat. At least you will be free and your case will be wobbler. So I accepted that 6 months. But what happened in jail? I'm telling you another story. Being among 60 criminals, which were drug dealer, all the murders, now I am the only Iranians in September 11, and every night I am preaching for prayer time. The only time that black and white and Mexican and others, they can come for prayer is only 15 or 20 minutes before you sleep. You can speak, pray. It's only time you have.
Why? Why is it only time?
Because before sleeping, the jail let you have a pray.
Okay.
So I said, pray time, pray time. One night I was so sad because I missed my kids. I was so angry. My name was in news. And in America, they destroy your name very easily. Just even you didn't do anything, they are not sure. You go to news, even you prove you're innocent, already they damage your character. This is a culture. I can't tell bad or good. But what happened? I learned in jail who the hell I am. Because when the 28 days I was in Iran with solitary, now I'm in a new jail that Mexican and black and white and others all in cell, and everyone has his own group. So if you are belong to white American, you can't talk with black in daytime. Because you are belong to white gang. If you are with the black, you are not allowed to speak with Southside Mexican.
Oh, wow.
Unbelievable. So in jail now, I am in 3 bed. I'm in the middle. The under was a Mexican friend. The top is a black guy with 300 pounds in my face. And I'm like a sandwich in the middle.
So what's gonna happen if you talk to somebody?
In daytime, they punish you. If you are belong to Southside group, Mexican, and you talk with blacks, They call you, they warn you, next time we see you are talking with these guys, you're going to have problem with us.
It's a jail?
In jail is like that.
Not, I mean, like, that's not the people from these groups. It's a jail.
No, not jail people, the prisoner.
Oh, the prisoner?
They have prisoner, they have a rule. If you are with us, you're not allowed to talk with others. So it happened when I was in jail here, and it was accusation for me. I find out that in the hardest time of your life, again you can switch that hard time in your life to positive. So what I started to do, rather than sitting and crying for that 233 days that I stayed there, I went to computer class.
Oh, they do computer class?
Yes, they let you go to computer class for 3 hours a day.
Not bad.
So I went and I learned Access and Excel and Word, which my wife in outside paid $6,000 for that. I get my certificate free.
But you were not free.
I gave soup to a brother, a black guy, and I said, you teach me how to draw face painting, and I give you soup more.
Oh, you shared your soup, your food with somebody else. It's amazing. Why did you need this face painting?
I like it. I was like dying to learn how to paint the face. So third, I started to reach these people and talk to them about God's love. September 11, they make this decision that this Iranian guy, maybe we can harm him in the jail.
So you were in a jail that time?
That time, yeah. That's why I couldn't come out easily. Because it ended up with September 11, and my lawyer said if you go to trial, it's very bad time now. Because the lady accused me for terrorist threat verbally. On that time, it was a crime because after O.J. Simpson in California, they make this decision that anyone verbally say, I'm going to kill you, you are subject for persecution. So anyway, to make it short, when I came out of jail, again, I asked myself what I'm going to do. I started to put sticker on the car, and I started to continue my church because my church member, they back up me. They support my wife, my kids on that time. They believe me. So when I come out, I continue my church. But what happened in my church? Little by little, Muslims started to come. And we continue our ministry, and I become a drug counselor. I went to Glendale Community College. I get my degree.
Why? Because you had a lot of people with a
people,
problem?
They had drug problem. By TV, I had a lot of call that my son is in drug. And I had chance to go to Glendale College to get my degree with alcohol and drug studies in 34 units and become a drug counselor. We sent 700 kids to rehab.
Wow.
And imagine, in hardest time in your life, you can be depressed and sit in a home, and you can be an alcoholic. You can be drug addicted. You can tell yourself why these things happen to me. But among all that accusation, among all that problem, it's not because of me, because of God. It's because of your passion. You can get survived. You can start. So I started to preach in America in 48 states. Many Christian organizations invited me to talk about my brother and persecution in Iran. And believe me, I could raise $270,000 by my English with this broken English.
Wow.
Sometimes I was preaching, they cry. I say, is that God working, or maybe you don't understand my English? For example, one time I said, rather than this teeth, I said this. I said, open your teeth. And every ladies were looking, what is this dirty pastor is talking? And one time I said, you're unique. Rather than I say, you're unique, I say, you're unique. And the meaning
Unique
of
and
unique is so different. And it was my experience when you messed up in English. But again,
Have you been accused for sexual harassment or no?
Not yet, not yet. About the hate, I want to tell you, we are living in a country in America that a lot of people trying to use hate and racism against each other. Even though in the churches in America, I can see you, we say black church, we say white church, we say Armenian church. And in jail, what I learned after the people, they are fighting together for race, but real democracy that we should think about in America, our kids are growing up in one school. My children, best friends are Korean and American. But when I tell them come in our Armenian church or Iranian church, they are telling me, Dad, why we should go to Armenian church when we grow up in America. So my subject about hate is when you start to love people, when you have that feeling to love people, there is a power against hate. Because to be honest, if I could go on and talk with people, those that killed my brother, and tell them I love you, it was more effective than I said I'm going to kill those people that killed my brother. And it was my personal experience and testimony, I'm telling you, since I started to become a drug counselor. When families, they are calling me, my son is in heroin, and that's why I want to say my son, the ladies, they said, my son is in heroin. I said, okay, lady, I'm coming to talk for intervention. I don't ask, are you Baha'i? Are you Armenian? Are you Iranian? Are you Jewish? I go there for intervention. Sometimes, even though I don't go with clergy, I don't tell them I'm pastor. Why? Because when you say you're pastor, the Muslims say, oh, do you want to advertise your religion? No. Unconditional love. I'm telling you this. It helped me. That's why we have no homeless ministry. We have convalescent. As a chaplain for hospice, last 6 years I become a chaplain. So those people are dying alone. You know how many moms and dads we have in convalescent home that their kids never met them for last 5 years because mom or dad has dementia or Alzheimer? They leave them alone like a leftover. We buy flour for them. We go put the flower near this mom who had, like in Valentine, never had any visitor. And I put flower near her nose. So she wake up and say, who is this? I said, I came to tell you, Mom, I love you. And you don't know, I'm getting emotion last 6 years, how God changed my life. I wish those people, they see this program, not only a kind of interview. I'm telling you, with love, you can change everything. With love, we can fight with hate. With love, we can build our family. It doesn't matter. I call that unconditional love. The Jesus that I'm preaching about, he feed the hunger. He helped. He said, if you go to prison, you are doing for me. If you feed the hunger. So that's why love is not a business. Love is not, I'm paying your church my money, give me a letter for tax contribution. You are making business with God. Love is not God, I'm coming to church, you heal my body, I will follow you. Don't make business with God. Unconditionally love people. That's why my key is that. So I have team. 20 young people, we take them to hospital with 20 flowers. We visit 20 patients. Wednesday morning, I have food bank. I go to food bank with a small truck, 2,000 pound food. We go to downtown, we go to Bakersfield, which is the center of drug in America, and we feed the homeless people.
More homeless people have appeared due to unemployment because of the COVID-19. And many churches have increased their food donations to these people. For someone, it's the only way to get food.
We have team to send to counseling for drug counseling. We send them to Glendale College to get their certificate. We have 52,000 drug center, rehab center in America. They can get a good job. So by these jobs that we do, now I find out the ministry is not just going on this pulpit and preaching 2 hours about God's love. Doing something. That's why I'm telling you, those people have no vision. America has no space for them. Listen, this sentence is very important. Those people have no vision. America has no space for them. Why? We're not coming to America just get welfare. My son is a Marine. I'm so proud. He came to me and said, Dad, I want to serve this country. I said, why? I said, Dad, when we came in this country, every time dentists call us, come, it's your time to check your for dent. And Dad, which country is like that? And that's why I'm so proud to be in America. I'm so proud to serve in a country, or my son serve in a country that there is real democracy. It's not perfect. We have still racist problem. We have still a lot of problem with financial. This is capitalism country, but it shows if you have in your heart passion, this is a country for you. So my son went to Marine. My another daughter, Pauline, she is now a doctor. Next year, she's going to be medical school. She graduate. My another daughter has master in English. She's teacher. So I couldn't raise 3 kids in my country with this condition. But now, in this country, government gave us this chance. So for those people, they watch this program. You can change everything. Even when you are in a bed that in the top is a guy giving you gas in your face, the guy in the bottom is smelling bad, and you are like a sandwich in the middle. Even in that condition, you can change the world. Even the condition, the people they accuse for anything in newspaper, you can come out. You can put sticker in the car. You can do driving Uber, or you can teach in university, but you can change the world.
Yes. Thank you so much. You left me speechless. I think you said a lot, and you had a beautiful speech to the people who's gonna watch us and listen to us. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
And I see you are very busy. You have all these jobs and you're doing a lot for the people, but what are you doing for yourself? Do you have any hobbies?
I have a bike behind my car. I purchased that, and by that bike is electric. So when I go to visit the patient and the traffic is so bad, that bike with charging battery drive 15 miles. So I mean, you can drive until 15 miles and it's still battery is okay. So I take from trunk, I stop my car and I go with that bike. Like today I have a
It's a good idea. Should I buy one or what?
So I can show you in Costco, you can buy it. So one of the hobbies is like biking or swimming but I'm telling you, I don't know. It's too long story, but every day if you do something good, you feel better, but you keep your body and mind and spirit healthy when you are free from bitterness, when you are free from anger. So if you want, I can show you my bike, but the condition is you have to ride that bike right now. Are you ready?
I am. Do you have a helmet for me? Let's do it.
Yes. You don't need to bike, but when you put this with the electric, you just buy this. You can
I try
do you
this?
want, try?
I don't have a helmet, but I hope I can do it. And
It doesn't need
so this is the turn on button,
Yeah,
right?
this is already here. Just put the air.
Oh,
Slow.
I don't know how to keep the balance. Okay, so if I don't do this, it stops, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Stop it. Slow. Make it. you from, like I have patient like 10 miles and I don't know how to, with that bumper to bumper, just I take my trunk and...
It's pretty cool. I'm gonna buy this one for sure. His name is Danil Tegay. Welcome, Danil. Nice to meet you too. Everyone has its own story of immigration. What is yours?
So I was born and raised in Russia, and I lived there for like 30 years of my life altogether. 14 years in Uzbekistan and then 16 years in Russia. But I'm a Korean descendant, as you can see. So my very first time when I came to the United States of America was like in 2009. I came here to study. Just for a couple months, I was just kind of taking a course how to improve my teaching skills, and I went to Utah. And I stayed there for a couple months. And for me, honestly, that time, America kind of didn't take a part of my heart. I didn't really enjoy staying here. So then I came back to Russia, and I got an opportunity to go and teach to South Korea for 2 years. So yeah, and then I came back to Russia again, and I lived there. I was working. I had my small business there. A lot of my friends actually immigrated to the States, and they were always like asking me, inviting me. And early in 2015 or 14, I started thinking about it to immigrate to either to Korea or America. So I had two options. So in early 2016, when there was a kind of an economical crisis occurred in Russia, and I just decided that probably it's time, time to move forward and start my new page of life and just move on, So I sold out all the businesses and paid off all of my, credits and stuff. And yeah, I just went to the embassy and I thought, well, if they will give me a visa, I guess this is a sign that I need to go and check it out. It was so hard to get a visa because I'm a citizen of Uzbekistan actually, and I couldn't obtain a visa in Russia, so I had to go back home. And it's a long story, but make it short. There are two countries in the world, like Uzbekistan and North Korea, which are not allowed their citizens to go anywhere without their permission. So in order for me to obtain any type of visa, I had to go to government department, 9 different departments, to get a stamp saying you're allowed to leave the country for 2 years.
Wow.
Then you have to come back and get the visa again.
I would expect it from North Korea, but not from Uzbekistan.
Well, Uzbekistan is kind of country like very unique. So I had only $100 in my pocket.
Wait, you just told us you sold everything.
Yes.
Where are your money?
I sold out all the businesses and paid off the credits
all
and
the
debts. All of the debts for my business and everything. So I just wanted to leave Russia having no debt in my pocket. So at that time, I did not have any idea what I would do here.
Since that time, did you regret that you left Russia?
I've been living in America for 5 years, and so far, I don't regret. When I first came to America, even though I didn't have a kind of stability or kind of, perspective or the vision of my future here, I felt good. And this is what I like about Los Angeles. No matter who you are, no matter what you believe in, no matter what, your religions, sexuality, whatever it is, people are welcome here and they accept it, and you kind of become a part of this family. And I really love this diversity, So that's why I thought and I felt personally that I fit this community, real well.
What was the first job you got here?
In America?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. The very first job I did actually was in Utah. And it was a job for my friends. My friends were just offering some help. They paid for my stay, for my clothes, for food, everything. And I felt kind of not good about it, because when I moved to America, I was 33 years old. If I was 18, I would say, yeah, sure, take care of me, I love it. I would.
Yeah.
But when you're 33, you don't want to feel like you're a moocher, or like or burden for my friends. So, and at that time it was kind of snowy, and I said, well, I would like to help you somehow, just tell me what I can do. And the family who I lived with, they were kind of 6 years old, and they said, okay, well, my husband needs to take out the snow from the roof. I'm like, okay, cool, I'll do that. So I just was helping them with all the kind of home and stuff. So my very first job, I was just shuffling the snow from the roof, I think every type of job or work can teach you something, The second job I got, it was very funny story. You want me to tell you?
Sure, of course.
We were since I'm Korean, I really love Korean barbecue. Do you like Korean barbecue?
Yes, I do.
I know, everybody loves it. So we went to a Korean barbecue place, and with all my friends, we were celebrating some kind of party and stuff, like a birthday or something of my friend, and the service was so bad. But in California, if you have a party of 6 or more, they're charging you 20% or 80% service charge. So when we got the bill, I'm like, wow, service charge is included, but the service was so bad. So I just asked the manager, like, can I talk to the manager about the situation? And back to Russia, I worked in restaurants, as a part-time job. Because
so you knew what to say.
I knew what to say. I know how it's
helps.
supposed to be running. And at that time, they did not have a manager, but one guy came up to me and he's like, yeah, you ask for manager, I'm here to help you. So I told him everything what happened and asked him just, waive it, because the service wasn't provided. He took it, he just was listening to me carefully. He was Korean, so I spoke Korean to him.
Oh, you spoke Korean? Okay.
Yeah, and bowed to him how it's supposed to be, because he's older than me. And after party, he just gave me his business card. He said, actually, if you're looking for a job, call me tomorrow.
Wow.
I'm like, okay, job? I'm like, okay, cool. So I just called him the other day, and he said, well, actually, I wasn't the manager. Manager was fired, and I'm actually the headquarter representative of our chain.
Wow.
And I'm offering you a position as a general manager of this restaurant.
Just got it right time, right? Even
I'm like,
complaining
what?
Helped you.
Yeah, sure. He's like, bring all your documentations, and we're gonna have another final interview with you, and you can start working.
So when you came here, you had a visitor visa, right?
It's called tourist visa, B1, B2. Yeah, and only for 1 year, because Uzbekistan gives a visa only for 1 year.
How did you transfer it? How
I changed my status?
Yes, how do you change your status? Yeah.
I was thinking about it, because there's so many different ways how to do it legally here. Either marriage, or get a student visa, or there are a lot of different opportunities. I was thinking about it. To become a student, it wasn't my way, because I was already a teacher. I went through this school, even though I had a sponsor and friends were willing to pay for my school here. I said, no, I don't want to waste time and money, because I was 33, and I said, well, no, it's too late. It's never late to learn things, don't get me wrong, but to go to school and become a teacher, a student, sorry, it's kind of not my way. Marriage, I wasn't ready to get married. I didn't want to deal with fake people, fake marriages, no. So one of my friends, he worked for the government in Utah. He's actually a secretary of the governor. And we were friends. And he just mentioned there's a kind of a program, a refugee program. I'm like, what kind of refugee program? He's like, well, there's 2 types of refugees and asylum. I'm like, I'm not familiar with that. So he just sent me to his friend who is a lawyer. And he actually has an office here in California. And this was the reason why actually I moved to California, because I went to meet with a lawyer, and he told me, yeah, there is a way how you can just change your status. You can apply and seek for asylum. And I'm like, okay, cool. So in early 2017, I just filed my case, and I'm still waiting for the interview.
Oh, you're still waiting. Do you know the difference between these
Yes,
asylum
yes,
and refugee?
yes. Let me explain to you. If you want to obtain the refugee status, you have to apply from your country. You go to the embassy, fill out the forms, get interviewed, and then you just, if you get qualified and you obtain that status, and then American government is just buy your tickets, take care of you, and you get a status. And you when you come here, you get all the paperwork ready to go. This asylum, it's a very, I would say, unique way how to become a resident of the United States. As a tourist or student, no matter what, you have 1 year. Within the 1 year, you need to apply.
Okay.
If you stay more than 1 year, most likely you won't be qualified to get the asylum. So, and there are a lot of qualifications. There are a lot of exceptions. There are a lot of kind of regulations, especially when Mr. Trump became a president. He has made a lot of changes. But if you are persecuted due to religion, economical aspects, racism, nationality, and all that stuff. In my case, it was easier because I actually qualified for all of them. I'm gonna tell you why. So, in Uzbekistan, as I told you earlier, it's a Muslim country, so I could not practice my religion. My Mormon religion is not allowed. My Mormon religion is not allowed in Uzbekistan, so I couldn't practicing any religion there. In Russia, there are a lot of churches, a lot of things, and it's kind of democratic country, so let's put it this way. But still, there are a lot of issues with foreigners. For Russian people, I'm not Russian, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't look Russian.
I don't look Russian, and for them, I'm like Chinese. They don't like Chinese people. I don't know why, but a lot of Russian people, they hate Chinese people. Chinese or Asians. Let's put it as Asians. Yeah, and there are a lot of some kind of small group of people who are kind of haters. Like, have you ever heard about skinheads?
Yes, I heard about.
I got beaten up by skinheads once in Russia, and it was a bad experience. But yeah, young people, age of like 18 to 20, they were just trying to find Asian people or someone who doesn't look Russian, and they just beat them up. And unfortunately, I got beaten up. And yeah, this is kind of thing what kind of make me start thinking about immigrate from Russia.
My question is, did you need to bring any proofs?
Yeah, of course. I do have some proofs. I do have pictures. I do have documents from hospital, from police.
Oh, okay.
Because I went to police right away. I told them, well, there is a group of people trying to kill me. And the thing is, even though they found those people, they couldn't do anything because they were under the age. So they said, well, they're like high school kids, just running around with like a lot of weapons and just trying to beat you up. Yeah, I have some, and so my declaration or my story declares that I'm a member of the Mormon Church, and I'm not able to practice my religion back to my country. In Russia, I'm not a Russian citizen, so it was hard for me to get a job, and I couldn't live there freely because I was always afraid that I can beat it up or my family or something,
A skinhead is a member of subculture which originated among working class in London, England in the 1960s. These were people who wanted to stand out from the crowd. Unfortunately, in Russia, this trend has become synonymous for the fascism and racism. Did they ask about your family?
Who?
The embassy. What about your family, your mom and dad?
Yeah, they asked me about my family. My mom lives in Korea. My father lives in Uzbekistan. They got divorced.
Okay.
So yeah, they asked me about it. In the embassy, it was kind of he asked the same questions they ask everybody, like what's your purpose of visiting United States, who is paying for it, how long you're gonna stay there, and those questions. And I answered all those questions. But he was surprised because even though I had that passport and that visa which allowed me to leave Uzbekistan, but at that time I did not live there permanently. I lived in Russia. So he asked me like, you came to Uzbekistan to see your relatives, and you're asking a visa to go to the States. So having no property, having no pets, kids, family, nothing, like empty passport. And he's like, so give me a reason. He asked me, give me a reason why you want to go to America and coming back. And I told him, I'm a Mormon. I would like to see my friends in Utah, to see all the church, see sites, and kind of, go to the conference, and then to attend the wedding of my friend. So my friend actually sent a letter saying, this is the invitation. I invite Danil for my wedding. I'll pay for it. I'll cover all expenses, all of that. So he just said, okay, only because you're a Mormon, I'll get you, your visa got approved.
Oh, wow.
Otherwise,
it's one more idea how to get to the United States.
Yes, but become a member of the church first.
Do you know how long will it take you to get visa? It has been delayed because of the president or because of the COVID? What do you think?
You're asking about my
your status
status
yeah.
here. Yeah, recently there were a lot of changes taking place. So these days they help people who come to the States now. So people who have applied earlier, they got stuck in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So these days, the first people come to America, they get interviewed and get provided all the documentations first. And this is the way how it is these days.
I have a question.
Sure.
How much did you pay to the lawyer to process all this documentation? How much would it cost to the people if they apply for this asylum status?
Here's the thing. First, answering your question, and then I will give you an advice, okay? I paid about $5,000, but since the lawyer was a Mormon, he gave me a discount, 50%, so I paid $2,500 personally, yeah. But I'm gonna give you an advice. At that time, I wasn't familiar with all the immigration process and all that stuff. You need a lawyer only when you made a mistake or did something, and the lawyer can help you, when you're in the court. With asylum, you don't have to have a lawyer. You don't have to. It's just wasting money, I would say. And I'm gonna tell you why. There are a lot of people who can help you to fill out the forms, check your declaration, and kind of giving you support and prepare you for the interview. And they call them paralegal. So they're kind of lawyers, but at the same time they're just helping you to fill out the forms, and it's twice cheaper. I would say about $3,000 approximately here in LA these days, and that's all you need. You just need to have someone who are professional and efficient with paperwork and apply it. I had a chance to go to the interview actually. I was working as an interpreter, like translator, for some of my Russian friends, and they hired me to be their interpreter, and I thought, well, it's a good idea. I can just go there and see how it goes, prepare myself for this interview. So I had 5 or 6 times when I went to actual immigration office, and I was helping my friends to obtain the asylum status. And when they went with a lawyer there, lawyers actually don't participate in those interviews. They're just sitting and saying yes.
Confirming everything.
This is true. This is true, and this is what you're paying for. It's so worth it, honestly.
Where do people can find this information? Is it uscis.gov?
Yeah,
this website?
Everything's available online. You can go there and check it out, what the requirements are, what kind of documentations you need to provide. But these days, you have to submit your case and file it all together. In the past, you could just apply online and bring all the documentations later. These days, you have to bring it all together in one pile because they can call you anytime, like very soon. I've been waiting for 4.5 years, but some of my friends, my actual roommates, they came like in 2019 or in 2020, and they already got the status, and they're already on the process of applying for green cards. So yeah.
You keep mentioning that you have friends who are paying for you, wanted to pay for your college and for everything. Where did you find those friends? Maybe should I look for somebody like that?
Do you want me to give you some referrals?
Of course, why not? So the friends helped me with the documentation, with everything. So
you know, I would say that these days, particularly, it's really important to have a networking, connections, and friends. It's the most helpful tool, no matter where you live. Like in Russia, in America, Utah, wherever you live, if you have networking, connections, friends, you can just easily, you know, kind of survive.
But for some people, it's so hard to find those friends. What would you recommend?
I would recommend to not to be shy. You know, there is a kind of a Bible principle: ask and shall be given, knock and shall be opened. If you don't knock the door, nobody is going to open it to you. Or if you never ask, well, you will not get the answer. So asking, searching, just helps a lot to find out what all about. You know, if you're interested about immigration, you just look it up, trying to see like some forums, or trying to find people who already gone through it, so they can give you some kind of advice. In my case, it was easier because some of my friends already immigrated at the time, so they showed me the way where to go, who to ask, and how much it's gonna cost approximately, and all that stuff. And these days, I actually have a part-time job at the Express Document Solution. One of my friends, she's the owner of that place, and this is the place where they help people to kind of, you know, immigrate, and they're helping with all the applications, with asylum, with marriage, with student visa, with passport, everything.
I have a feeling whenever you go, you have friends everywhere.
That's true.
We just need to follow him, I believe so.
Please do. Please do. We can become friends. I will share my contact information with all my friends.
See? Communication, guys.
Yes.
If you don't know where to start here in the United States, there are a lot of consulting groups that help people to rent an apartment, to buy a car, or find a job. I want to come back to your second job. So you did you start to work as a manager at a restaurant?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And for how long did you work as a manager?
I was working there for a year.
For a year?
Yeah.
And what happened after that?
Well, I was starting earning some money, and I just wanted to invest some money and make money work and make more money, you know. And I've been thinking about it. Where could I invest money? I didn't have that much, but I thought, well, there are a lot of tourists in LA all the time, and they're always asking for place to stay, car, and a job. Right?
Yeah.
So, and when I met my friend Nargiza, who is the owner of Express Document Solutions, she just told me, well, you can bring your friends and you can help me to work with them. And I started working for her, and we just help people to apply for, you know, different type of visas or asylum. And then all the people who came to the office, they were asking about cars, about place to stay. I'm like, okay, fine. So I guess I can invest some money, buy some cars, and rent them out. And I bought 2 cars and started renting them out. And I was using a Turo platform, which kind of, it's an app, helps you to find it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an app which helps you to find a car, and you rent it from the actually owner. It's not like a big corporation like Enterprise or Hertz or whatever. It's just an app.
Let's say I can give my car, people can rent it out?
Yes, and you can make some money. It's kind of passive income. And they provide you insurance and everything, so it's very good way how to make some money. Yeah, I just was renting out my cars, and then I was getting more money, bought more cars, you know. And 1 year later, I just didn't have enough time to work for the restaurant because I had a lot of clients coming into the office and with renting cars, like apartments, all that stuff. So I quit my job and I started working at the Express Document Solution.
And you're still working there?
I'm still working there as a contractor. So whenever they need me, they hire me and I do my job there. In the meantime, I do some other things.
What are the other things? It's not a secret.
It's not a secret. The other things, I figured out that California is a great place just to use all your skills, your talents, skills, and so forth. I love singing. Well, all the Asians love to sing, actually. I love singing.
Who told you? No.
No?
I love to, but it's horrible.
So yeah, I love singing, I love dancing, and back in Russia sometimes I was hosting some kind of weddings or events. So I started doing this here, I just found a place where they actually hosting some kind of Russian events. And we're singing, dancing there, and people just saw me and they hired me to be their host for their weddings, birthdays, kind of events. So, I was host. I'm a host.
You're a host.
Yeah, I'm a host, and sometimes I sing. Sometimes I have friends who are helping me with this kind of thing. So when we have a wedding or birthday, I have a crew who can sing, dance, like DJing, like a lot of different things. So and I work as a host here, like for Russian events.
I told you he's so talented. And I feel like no matter I ask you, you have an answer to everything.
Some of my friends are calling me a walking encyclopedia.
If you need some information, you can
call
contact,
me.
Call you.
Yeah, call me. Maybe. So I started this kind of things. I'm not a professional singer. I'm not a professional host, but I just love to make people happy, to celebrate their events, and I don't have any advertising or anything like that. Like people see me, they hear me, and it just spread out the word, and that's how I became kind of well known here among the Russian community in Los Angeles. And they know that I have cars. I do have networking with Express Document Solutions. So whenever they have new people coming to LA, they call me, and I just send them. Well, you can go to do this here. You can go to DMV. You can just do this and that. There's some kind of things that everybody go through. When they first come to America.
I feel bad I didn't know you when I moved here.
Now we know each other.
Very helpful.
Oh yeah.
And question.
Sure.
Did you have something that surprised you a lot when you first came here?
Well, I'm a multicultural person, so the only thing that kind of shocked me when I first came to America, it was food.
Good, bad?
Different. Different. Everybody has his own taste, so I cannot say it's better or worse. It's just different. And in Russia, we prefer to use a lot of natural products, like organic, mostly. Here, there are a lot of junk food, not good food. So
like American food here. I believe it's multicultural.
What is American food? Let's be honest.
Hamburgers.
What else?
I don't know. We have to add
pizza. Hamburgers? What else in America? American food? Nothing.
McDonald's, right? That's all.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay. I don't eat fast food, so for me, American food wasn't an option. So that's why, and I'm really picky. Since I used to work in restaurants, I'm really picky with food. So I was actually cooking for myself the first time. When I first came to America, I was cooking to myself mostly, and I didn't have enough, money to go eat out a lot, so it's kind of expensive. For me, it was kind of this thing, and also the other thing is cultural aspect of life here in America.
What do you mean?
When I ask, well, let me explain to you. I do have a lot of American friends, and when I ask them, when we're talking about culture, about some kind of things, for Americans, culture means like some kind of traditions. They do have traditions. They do some kind of holidays. They're trying to spend time with family and all that stuff. For us, Russian people or people from Europe, it's a little bit different. Culture means that you spend some time to do some kind of cultural activities, such as going to the theater, watching the opera, ballet, like to have some kind of manners, to like all these aspects. Here is a little bit different. So it's not worse or better, it's just different. Don't get me wrong. And yeah, it's just this aspect of life. And the other thing is relationship. A relationship between people. In America, it's different too. Like
it is.
I agree. You know, right? What I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's just different environment, and I'm not saying that they have to follow our culture. We come to America and we immigrate here, so we have to follow their culture and kind of accept their principles, their lifestyle, but at the same time to be who you are. So this is what I love about America. No matter where you're coming from, it's totally up to you. Either you accept the culture and traditions and the lifestyle here, or you deny it and you just become kind of an outsider and you kind of live your own life. There are a lot of people here in America, I've noticed that they're kind of depressed, or they're
You mean people who immigrated, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because they're just facing this kind of situation when they kind of don't really fit this environment. We have a phrase in Russian. I don't know how to translate it into English like correctly. I would say you feel like a fish from a different aquarium.
Oh, okay, yes.
Do
you think it's a problem because people don't speak? When they immigrate, a lot of people don't speak and they kind of feel locked in their own community. They speak only to the people from the same country. They don't participate, they don't interact with other people, and I feel like they feel trapped. That is why.
Yes and no. Why yes? Of course, when you speak English, you can freely communicate and explain what you want, right? And no, because you're in California. Like, there's so many languages here available. If you go to any government department, such as DMV or any other places, interpreter is provided for free. Yeah. Any language. Like, for example, if you want to take the written test at the DMV, it's available in Russian.
Yeah, it is.
When you go to any other places, if you don't speak like English, they can call and say, okay, I need a Russian interpreter, and they will provide it to you. It's easier here in California for those who don't speak English that well. But the other thing is, if you are moving to America, you should be aware of that. You need to learn at least some phrases, how to find the restroom, how to order hamburger, or
right.
how to,
Yes, totally.
survive here. And there are a lot of actually schools here in the States who offer you free English programs here. It's a very
there is a lot of support here.
Yeah, it's a lot of support, and if you have a desire, you find the opportunities.
Yeah.
If you don't have desire, you're finding excuses. This is another phrase.
Yeah.
So if you move to another country, you have to be ready to change your life and learn new things, or use all your skills in order to be able to provide yourself.
Remember this. Such a good advice.
Yeah, it's good advice. I think everybody has different talents. Everybody has a different gifts from God. And you just need to open up and don't be lazy. Just if you're lazy, it doesn't matter where you go to, you just will be complaining about life, about everything and everybody. But if you're not lazy and you're willing to change your life to a better, I think you just need to move on, kick your butt from the bed and just do something.
What would you advise to the people who want to immigrate, who will be watching you and watching other people and saying like, oh my God, they have such a wonderful life and we want to have the same. What should they bring with them, or what should they do?
The first advice I would say, when you watch Hollywood movies, which shows you how beautiful life is here, it's not true. It's not true. Before you move to America, I would say that you need to see what are you gonna do here, like how are you gonna establish or get settled here. This is the first thing. The second thing is earn enough money to, provide yourself with food, place to stay for first months or so while you're looking for a job or something like that.
What do you think? How much do they need to have?
It depends how much they spend on food.
What about the housing?
Housing, it's expensive in California, but you can find cheap places here. Actually, if you are, searching around, there are a lot of communities or places where you can actually get a not really expensive apartment. And some places actually, as you know, they're required to have Social Security and all of that stuff. But there's some places where they don't require it. You just have to put more deposit and you're good to go right away.
Find good friends.
Yes, or find good friends who can help you out. Talking about food, there are a lot of opportunities here. When I first came to California, I found some food banks in some kind of places where they were willing to just give away food. And that food was good. It wasn't like something like bad.
Yeah.
It was good food, and I saved a lot of money for that. Food banks are open for everybody, no matter of your status or who you are, homeless or not homeless. They offer food for free, and it's available. And there are a lot of opportunities here in Los Angeles, particularly in California, Los Angeles, California, where you can just immigrate. And when you first come here, you can just survive. There are a lot of opportunities and programs.
All of us, we have our ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the time when you fell down, when you felt bad, really bad?
Of course, when I was just taking care of the snow in the roof of my friends, and when it was so cold, I was like, what am I doing here? I moved to America just to work for my friends. Or when I just had a really heavy things to move around, when it was like 90 degrees outside and you just moving the furniture around. Well, of course I was a little bit down, but every time when I was down, I tried to find a way how to cheer myself up. Since I love singing, I went to sing to karaoke. When I just needed to place just to chill, I went to the ocean, I went to the forest or parks to spend time with yourself, with friends, or just, kind of refresh. And, it's really, when people just ask me about immigrating, I usually tell them another advice. It's better to try it out, and then you can compare your life here, your life back home, and they're always way back home. You always can go back home. Nobody will stop you to go back home, but you will never find out how it feels like and looks like unless you come here and try it out. Give a chance.
That's true. But you mean to come here and live for some time?
Yeah, of course.
But sometimes it's not the same when you come as a visitor. When you come as a visitor, you have money, you have all this fun, you come back and you think, oh my God, I'm gonna live here. It's so much fun. I'm gonna run the world.
Yes.
And the second time, when you immigrate with your family and if you have kids and you arrive, you just realize you don't have fun anymore. You have to work. You have to provide food.
You have to work no matter where you live. especially when you have family.
True, but the picture is different.
Of
When you
course.
come the first
Of
time, you
course.
have fun. It's
Of
like,
course.
wow, you didn't think about work that time.
That's why you need to talk to someone who's been living here, who could give you some advices and then telling you what you have to be prepared for. If you just move your entire family to the States, having 5 kids, having no job, no place to go, of course you are kind of screwed. I would say.
That's what happened when people they win a green card. They sell everything. They take their kids, money. They come here, and they think they have a lot, but in 1 year, all money are gone. And it's the biggest,
Yeah, there is another advice for the families. I'm a single guy, so it's easier for me. But for the family, I would say, through my friends' experiences with family, if you have kids and family, it's better for a husband to come first, to get a job, find a place to stay, starting working here, and then you can afford your family to come here and join you. This would be the easiest way. But at the same time, if only they all have visas or green card, this is the only
Way.
condition. If they have a green card, it's even easier. You don't have to worry about your status, about your work permit, all the documentations. You come here, you get your green card, and you just can work. The only thing is you just need to think about your work, about your job, what you're going to do here.
I believe the biggest disappointment for the people is when they had a decent job. They come here and they realize they can work in a bank. They can run the hotels here until they start from the bottom. And this is the biggest pain for them. They had to maybe clean the houses, do all these dirty jobs.
Well, if you want to have a bright and successful future for your kids, you're willing to get any type of job at the beginning.
But what about us, not kids? Kids gonna have their life. What about us? We won't have our life.
Of course. It all depends on your attitude. Even when you have a kind of a dirty job, it's still respectful. This is the thing. In America, when you do any type of job, people are actually thankful, grateful.
Yeah.
This is what I got the feeling when I was working as a mover. I was moving, furniture around, and if I would be a mover back in Russia,
oh yeah,
it's another story, right?
Yes.
Here in the States, people are grateful and they respect what you're doing because you're helping them out. No matter what job you do, like even if you're just cleaning the apartments, most of the people, they're respectful and they give you good money and they even give you tips, and that's just the way how it is in the States. No matter what type of job you have, if you do it properly in a good way, it's appreciated here.
I think it's mostly in our heads when we comparing,
it's a stereotypes.
Yeah.
It is stereotypes. Like there are a lot of my friends who just had really good jobs in the States. Back in Russia. For example, I have a friend of mine who worked as a dentist back in Russia, and he was making a decent amount of money, and he has 3 kids and a dog, so 3.5. So when they first started thinking about immigrating to America, they called me and I gave them some advice what to be prepared of, So they sold out all the properties, cars, everything, and they moved to America. And they stayed with me for a month at my place. 3 kids and a dog, and yeah, so.
So you know how it is to have a family, right?
Yeah, I helped them out to, with all the things, with apartments, cars, everything. But then 2 months later, parents it's really hard for them to learn English. They didn't want to learn English.
How old were they?
They were about like 45-ish. His wife speaks German, so it was easier for her. But husband, he doesn't speak English that well, but he is a great dentist and a good technician. But he couldn't work here as a dentist, right? Because he should have a special license and all of that stuff. But since he was a good technician and he works with all the crowns, all that stuff, so he could start working as in the laboratory, to make all those things. But 2 months later, they decided to go back home. They just had a kind of family meeting, and they just told kids, it was great to stay in America, right? You loved it. Kids, of course.
Yes.
Disneyland, the Universal Studio, all those Six Flags. And kids are like 9, 11, 15. Of course, they love California. And they say, well, now it's time to go home. We're buying an apartment there, and you know what the kids said? You can go home, but we're staying here.
Oh, wow.
They said, well, we will work and make money to stay here. We really love living in America. And the parents just looked to each other and like, okay, fine, we're staying. And they've been living here for 3 years. She got a job, he got a job, and they're enjoying. They bought a house actually a couple of months ago. And
there you go.
Yeah, and they just enjoying life and everything is good. It just all depends on your attitude and your desire. If you desire of something, you will do everything which is possible or impossible to achieve your goal. So when you set the goal, you find the ways how to achieve it, and you make plans. Before you come to America, you need to make a plan, right?
So what would be your advice if you come to America? Should you apply for the university, or you can come and find a job and just climb the ladder, working from the bottom your way up?
If you decide to become a student, it's a different story, because you apply for a student visa, you obtain F1 and I-20, but you're not allowed to work more than 20 hours only in the campus.
No, I'm asking if you move with a family. You come here and let's say you cannot do what you used to do in your country. Should you go to the university, or should you start just working your way up?
My advice for all those who want to move to America and they're thinking about jobs, forget about what you did in Russia. If you want to start over the life here, a new life here, I would recommend to learn some kind of skills such as a hairdresser, masseuse, like everything what you can do with service. Here in America, they really need people who can do all those things, and it get paid really well here. Hairdressers, all the services, good money, good tips, and it's easier. You don't need to know your language. You don't need to know English that well. You're learning English, but at the same time, if you know how to use your hands, it will help you to earn enough money to be able to afford to stay here.
Thank you so much. I love you having here. You're such a great, and you gave us a lot of great advices. Thank you so much. I hope they will be very helpful to the people.
You're welcome. Come again.
A lot of Ukrainian women married Italian men, and now I know why. Let me introduce an Italian architect, Alessandrello. Hi, Alessandro.
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us.
My pleasure. Absolutely.
Your place is beautiful. I love it so much.
I appreciate it. And thank God, because if it was ugly, it would be a problem. It's my work, so. Yeah.
Where are you from? What city in Italy?
I'm Sicilian.
Sicilian?
From Sicily. Yes.
Oh my God, it's a beautiful, right?
It is. It's magical.
Do you wear hats and do you have guns?
I have a lot of hats. I don't have guns. Yeah, that's a stereotype that everybody have about Sicily, but actually it's very friendly, safe, and a beautiful place where to go for vacation. And actually I suggest everybody to go there, because Sicily is the most expression of beauty and love.
Awesome. We will go for sure.
Absolutely, yeah, you should.
So, do you have a family in Italy?
Yes.
How big is it?
I have 2 sisters, beautiful sisters, and 1 brother. So we are 4 siblings, my parents. My sisters and my parents, they still live there in Sicily. My brother lives between Morocco and Spain, so he travels a lot because of work. Unfortunately, we don't see each other a lot because, of course, geographic problems, limits. But so we talk every day, and so we are very only thing in spread like for people. Yeah.
It's really awesome. Have they been here?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah.
Any of them?
Because I'm used to go back all the time, like 3-4 times a year.
Oh.
But now because COVID and other limits, so it was not possible. But it's gonna happen.
When was the last time you saw them?
2 years ago, unfortunately.
2 years ago.
Yes.
And do you plan to go back soon?
Yes, just for vacation.
Just for the vacation.
Because my place at the moment is still here. Yeah. I'm creating a lot, and this is the place that I'm very thankful with America, because despite a lot of limits and difficulty, because it's not easy, like to come by yourself, to do everything by yourself. But when you have like a goal in your mind and you know where you want, you have to get it. So that's what I'm doing.
But you said you didn't have plans to come here, just because of your work you came, right?
I discovered this this place, this country, living here, and I didn't expect how beautiful and how many opportunities there are. I love, especially in this case, LA, because it's the main place where I have much more experience on living here. Because I like to consider LA like the city of the dreamers. Everybody comes here with a dream. Everybody wants to get something. And sometimes, unfortunately, people get scared. Sometimes people stop at the first no. But I really invite everybody to keep going, as well it happened to me, and try to make of their own life really like an artwork, because if you have the goal, you have to visualize it and you will get it. As well I'm doing basically day by day. It's not easy, but if it was easy, everybody can do it.
Yeah.
Right? So.
What was the scariest part for you when you moved here?
I was not scared actually.
At all?
Because I start to have a different attitude in the life since I was 18 years old, I guess, maybe even earlier. So before, when I was a child, I was scared about everything.
Why?
And, because I had a bad experience when I was a child. And that experience brought me to don't believe in myself at all. So the idea about myself, it was like zero.
Wow.
Despite I'm from a family that still give me a lot of love. And it happened another very strong experience where I saved the life of one person very close to me. Wow. And at that point I start to believe that actually I have a value. And since that point, nothing stopped me. Machiavelli said it doesn't matter how you get it, but it's important how you get it. So that you have to get it, actually.
Yes.
So that's what I'm doing, and that's I convert it like really like the philosophy and the attitude of my life.
So you came straight to LA? Or
4 years ago, 4 years ago, I moved to Vancouver.
Canada?
For love.
For wow.
Yes. I met this person and I decided to follow it. It didn't work, neither with the city. I'm from Sicily. I need the sun, the beautiful environment, like the weather, like as well. It's here, no?
It's beautiful.
And so I didn't feel very comfortable in that reality.
It was cold.
That's why
right?
I started to think to paint my paintings. They were my medicine in that time to express all my emotions.
Did you paint all of these back in Vancouver?
Yes, yeah. Actually, I paint more, but so at the moment, I sell a part of them. Yeah. Yes, and I brought them with me here, so because they represent in certain way like my kids. Anytime you paint, like you express yourself, and they mean a lot for me, and I hope also for a lot of people.
Can you tell me who are these people in your
Yes,
paintings?
I call this collection Circus, because the life I always try to bring like the positive aspect of everything.
That's
so
great.
circus is something fun,
Yeah.
beautiful, and a lot of people like just stop in front of the result, the sparkles, the light, the fun, whatever. Circus represent the soul of people that in the second before to go to the stage. So you have to keep. So people that keep all the insecurity, all the problems, and everything that everybody is struggling with ourselves in that second before to go to the stage of the life. Because everybody have to be fabulous. You see with Instagram and stuff and whatever.
Yeah.
So they are my kids, like they are circus. Indeed, like I try to represent through them. They are very like figurative, but they really represent the soul, my soul in a certain way. So we live in a society where people think that all the emotional aspects, all the people sensitive, emotional, so they're considered weak. But actually, what it means life for me, actually they are the main aspect of people. They are the aspect that make people stronger. They are that's the beauty of people. So I try to represent through them the mortification of the beauty. Something that people mortified, but actually it's beauty. Because it's beautiful to see a person that feel emotion, a person that cry, a person that laugh, a person that feel weak. What's wrong with that? We are human. And that's life. Life is through that, it's through emotions. So they are that. For example, him, the guy up there, it's a strong guy, very masculine, but with the makeup, and he's crying. And the makeup is all melt. And it's beautiful for me. For someone else, it's ugly.
A very sad fact. The depression is a main psychological problem for people who have gone through the immigration process. If you feel depressed and find signs of depression, don't delay and contact a specialist.
I mean, like I do, so I am what I am. As well, the song of whatever say. You know the song I am what I am my own special creation.
No.
Who's singing this?
It's she's Gloria Gaynor. Shit. Okay, Gloria Gaynor. It was the main song of the La Cage aux Folles in French, which in American it was translated in The Birdcage. It's a musical. It's the love story of this straight man that fell in love with this transsexual, but it's very old. And part of the show, she sing like, because he start to feel shame about his love, the straight man, but I mean, really, and she's crying like she was singing, I am what I am my own special creation. Because basically, we have to be our special creation.
Yes, so you came here and you worked for this country and for this company for how long?
I'm used to work for this company for almost 7 years, but I don't work for them anymore since 3 years, and I start to do my own business.
What's that?
Yes, I'm having actually a lot of success because people. I feel very blessed about it because people feel that I really understand them. So the main part of a project, to be, before to say that, I want to say, my company is called Aramini Home.
Aramini Home.
Yes, Aramini is the last name of my mother. And I got inspiration for this name because the first client asked me to design a table that it was like a ship.
Oh, wow.
And my grandfather, the father of my mother, he was working, so it was his business. And I felt like subconsciously connected with that. And I thought, you know what, maybe it's the case to start to think about to move on with my legs and to start my own business and to call this company Armenia, because of course I still maintain my name. My parents, they're in love, they're still together. It's not because I denied actually. So I'm still Alessandro, Alessandrello, but because I really believe in family, and my parents are the best example for me about it. I like to combine also, as well I did, my last name with the last name of my mother, which is my company, in a certain way. Yeah. Going back what I'm saying before, to be an architect, a designer, so it's in a certain way to be like a therapist, because the mistake that a lot of designers do, it's to impose their own aesthetic.
Yes.
And there is a lot of ego in this industry. Like everybody feels fabulous, and I mean, like sometimes I feel fabulous, sometimes I feel shit. I mean, I don't know if I can see that, but everybody have their own
ups and downs.
To be a designer, it's really like a mission in the life. It's like a gift from the universe, because it's like that someone, some upper energy chose you as a tool to convert the needs of people in beauty. Home is there is a difference between home and house.
Home and house?
Yes.
Explain,
the difference
please.
Is, yes, the difference is that house is the structure, is a place without feeling. Home, it's the place that you bring forever with you, in any place where you feel love. And that's what I've tried to create with my client, with the people that are around me. Because we feel safe, so we have to feel safe in our place. And you feel safe when every corner represents you in a certain way. If I design one house that represent me as a designer, but doesn't represent you, so it could be beautiful for some picture in some magazine, but you don't feel home.
Yes, I agree.
So the difference is like house is structure, home it's every place where you bring love. Actually, that's the phrase that I put in front of my door casually.
Yeah, I need to read it. I saw something.
Yes.
Question. So what are you doing? What's your main job right now?
So we design houses in computer. We connect the computer with a huge machine that cut the pieces, and we compose these houses like in an incredible way in 1 month.
You want to say that you printed out the houses, like real houses?
Definitely, yes. No.
How does it work?
So because we design piece by piece.
But
Like,
what
for
kind of
example,
material do you use for this?
Any kind of materials, concrete, wood, like metal. We can do it with any kind of materials, 100%.
It means we
Yes.
can build the house in 1 month?
Yes,
But how stable it is?
100%. It's one of the safest, 100%. Yes.
Really?
Because the foundations are still, of course, in concrete with the steel and everything. Yes.
Is it walls or what's that? What exactly are you?
It could be in any kind of materials. Definitely, yes. Usually it's wood combined with steel, and also like a combination of other materials.
You do it all. You design, you work.
No, in this case with Palari company, I'm thinking. So I work just about furniture.
Are you
so
just
they are, yes, those are already like the houses are already
built,
designed, not built.
Oh.
But one of the main things that I want to do with my company is to give part of this money to people without home.
Oh, that's
Because
so
as
nice.
well everybody like for homeless, as well everybody like, so people that they buy from me can afford one house. It would be nice and to be like positive in this universe to give to other people that can afford it.
You just want to make people happy, right?
Definitely, yes, of course. We were born to be happy. So it's the human people like growing try to create problems, but because we are our first limit.
Yeah.
Basically.
Where did you get your education? Back in Sicily, in
yes,
Italy?
in Sicily, yeah. I went to the scientific high school, and after that I started architecture in Syracuse, which is one of the main in Italy. Syracuse is the city of Archimede, the father of the math. So I feel blessed to get like really a great education from there. And after that I moved to Umbria, Assisi, because there I moved there also for love. I'm addicted about it, whatever. But I try to combine both of the things, and there I did the study for the research for the restructuration of the rural houses and buildings. I wrote a book. It was called so basically it's talk about the combination about fashion and architecture. I always been addicted of fashion, and actually I discovered that fashion and architecture are very well connected, because both of them describe the society in the right moment. You don't dress and your house is not the same of people of like 30 years ago. The dress and the houses of 30 years ago, they were totally different.
Yeah.
So indirectly, the fashion and architecture and design in general describe our society.
Did you go to school here or no?
No, I've never been here to school, no.
My question is for the people who want to come here and they have this education. Do they have to go to the school, or they can start their own business working back in Italy and come in here? What kind of steps they need to take to open their own business?
The first step is to have an experience working for some other company, because that's the best way to understand more about the business in the society. You know, like you start to have like an experience, how interact with people, how to listen people, what the people want in this place. And when you start to have your own culture, you can feel ready to do the other step. That's what I did basically.
Tell me, is it hard to build your own business here from scratch?
I feel that I've been very lucky person, because everything happened like step by step. I start to do my own business because the request from clients. Instead of like and I already found myself in that position in a certain way, and I start to brand it. So it was like a bit like in that way.
Because you had a lot of clients, you decided to make your own business, right?
Yes, no, because I saw that people really appreciate my design, and actually the attitude and the interaction that I have with them, which is the main part, because the house is very private. You have to trust on someone before to bring that person to your place. So that means that I trust you, everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it a lot. And what can you advise to the people who want to start their own business here in this industry?
I advise to people to don't be focused on the branding their own business, but to be focused on the needs of people. So the goal cannot be, oh, I have my brand, I'm fabulous. It's not about the ego. It's about what's your how can you help the society with your brand, through your brand. That's the key. When you're humble, when you are conscient, when you have knowledge about any kind of, that's not because of just about designers, but it's also like in any kind of brand. It means also fashion, if you are in the industry of wine, or if you are, for example, talking about you are an incredible presentatrice. What's the name of presentatrice? I'm trying to translate in my mind, like
the TV
like
host. TV host.
TV host, excellent. And but I feel that your goal, it was not, oh, I want to be like the best because I'm fabulous. You're fabulous. But
Thank you.
I feel your soul, and you're so sweet and kind,
thank you.
That's the main part. Because answering back again, so the goal, it cannot be just the brand, the dream to have their own brand. The dream has to be how you can contribute in a positive way to the society. The brand is a consequence, money is a consequence. So the goal, it can never be to be rich. If your goal is to be rich, you can never be rich. You will be always miserable, because it's something material, something that it can never be enough. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. But let's say I'm coming from Germany.
Yes.
And I know everything about the interior design, and I
Yes.
want to work in the United States. I come
Yes.
here and I don't know anybody. What would you recommend? Where you would recommend to go? And what to do to work for some company first, or how should I start? I want a green card. I'm super cool interior designer back in Europe. I came here. And what else? What should I do? I don't know anybody. I'm no one here, right? I'm just a person.
Yeah.
I'm a happy person. I came to the United States.
Yes.
What else should I do?
That
Where should I
was a
go?
certain way like my situation, because it was like that I won the green card, but it was not unfortunately green card, because I moved for the company that was for like in Italy.
Okay.
But I moved here, I really didn't know anyone. I was totally by myself. And I tried to take advantage of this condition to discover more about myself, going out by myself a lot of time. And it was so interesting, like to start to interact with the new people, and it was very cool. That was the best way how to get friendship and to start to connect with people and get also more work connection. Moreover, one or the other way to be part of the community, maybe the easiest is like to look for through the social media the groups, the community of your own country. For example, there are like I start to be inscribed. I sign it up in Italian people in Los Angeles. So I start to be part of the group, and there I start to read a lot of suggestions. They every kind of country organize here, like make a plan with some
events.
And yes. And if you're looking for a job, the best way is to go to the work applications like Indeed, or also LinkedIn, where actually you can show in a professional way your capacity, so your knowledge, what you're able to do.
Tell me, what do you miss a lot here? Comparable. I mean, like when you were in Italy, it's a totally different country. What do you miss?
What I miss a lot, my family, and the history.
The history?
Yes, our countries are there is a lot of history. We grew up in a place where you walk around and you're already in a museum. Just you put your first foot like out the door and you're in a museum. That's what I miss. But there are a lot of more beautiful aspects that I found here in LA. That's why I'm very happy to live here, to be part of it. So.
What do you like the most about LA?
There is a lot of meritocracy. People appreciate who you are. So if you're talented, your talent comes out. You can realize your dream. You have to, of course, never give up. You can never stop to the first no. You can never be afraid. You always have to believe on yourself. But living by yourself, you get stronger in a certain way. Because when we leave our country in a suitcase, we bring ourselves, our our roots in a certain way.
Yeah.
I love of this place the people recognize your value, and you can express it. So you have to find a way to do it, and you can do it. For example, in Italy, unfortunately, it's not in this way. You work very well because you are the son or the neighbor or whatever. Like I mean, like no one is architect in my family. It was my uncle, but he was living in Venezuela, and unfortunately he is not here in this world anymore. But I mean, I've been supported just like financially from my family. No, unfortunately. Thank God that it happened this way. Yeah. Because that makes me feel more proud of my family that gave me all the tools to do that, and I feel very lucky about it. And also because it's something that I got because I deserve it, so I create it. So it's not because someone or my family or my father, whatever is.
What else do you like to do except doing interior design?
I like, of course, painting, I like dancing, I like sharing time with friends. I like to take care about the house, you know, like small things, and, you know, to make the place prettier, warmer, like flowers, and, you know. So every week I go to the grocery store, or like the flower shop, and I buy different kind of flowers, and I try to create some composition, because, you know, flowers make everything warm, you know, bring like something healthy. Like,
can you show us some of this?
Yes, let's go to the garden. We're gonna cut all the flowers.
Oh, let's go.
Okay. Yes, of course. Even because so they're almost dying. So.
Did you know that one of the largest flower festivals takes place in California? It's called Tournaments of Rose Parade. It takes place in Pasadena on New Year's Day. It includes flower-covered floats, marching bands, and equestrian units.
So it's fun, no? Alexandra and Alessandro. So perfect couple, baby.
Right? Alexandra.
Ciao, bella.
Alexandra, Alessandro,
Alessandrello. So you cannot make a mistake. Yeah. Can you imagine if I were born in Alexandria?
And Alexandria
like,
from Alexandria, right?
Too boring. Yeah, too much.
Too much.
One of the things that I really love to do every week is to make nice bouquet to my place, because it brings like good energy, something like fresh, and in that way. And today it was a case that I bought a flower that actually matched perfectly with your outfit. So I will dedicate this bouquet for you. I select few plants and flower that actually they mean something. For example, the lilies is one of the flowers that are printed in the family stain logos.
Oh yeah.
Because it's a flower very loyal, simple, but very elegant, and it's like a statement. And I thought, okay, maybe it's the great occasion to do that. We start with the cream flower, which is this one. Let me see. Yes, this is perfect already. We can start with this, and like gradually we go to the bigger, to the smaller, and after that we use this one as a frame.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And
just for fun, yes. That's what I do every week.
Every week?
Because I like to have flowers, you know, it's beautiful. It's everything.
Usually I'm buying like already made bouquet. I'm not really good with this.
Thank you for the collaboration. I'll come back next Monday.
Next Monday for sure. I'll check my schedule.
So, if I want to be a designer, I can open a store.
Flower store?
I can make flowers. I'm joking. Never happened. Okay. Now we can go with that.
Do you like to use flowers in your design? You know, like flowers in some curtain, on some curtains.
Like printed?
Yes.
No.
You don't like?
No.
Flowers.
So that's depend from the situation. That's depend also from the style of the house, because a lot of time when you use a lot of patterns in the fabrics or like also like wall coverings and everything, so you can get tired. Not because I don't like it, because maybe a client will imagine like I would like to have all this wall covering like in silk flowers. It could be beautiful, but you can get tired after 1 year, and you can wait to replace it. So the goal, one of the secrets is to use like more neutral colors, to use neutral patterns, and to play with the patterns with accessories. Like use a lot of colors maybe with accessories, like vases, real flowers, pillows, art definitely. So the architecture and the design will be the best background, which will give much more importance to the rich element that you bring to your house. The look is very nice, and it's a composition. It has a story. So this one is the queen.
Yes.
And everything is around it.
Very beautiful. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much for
Those are
having
for you.
us. Oh my God, thank you so much.
Oh.
Thank you so much for having us.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
I like your idea about creating this business. I like that you are not pushing your vision and you're listening to the people, and that what you want to share some of your profits to the people who are homeless. It's really good.
Yes.
It's really inspiring. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
I was always wondering, who are these people who make us, men and women, looking good? Today I have a chance to talk to the clothes designer, to the fashion designer, Juan Sargsyan. Hi Juan.
Hi.
How are you?
Very good, and you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for inviting us to your beautiful place. It's so beautiful, so bright. Thank you so much.
Of course, welcome.
So tell us your story.
My story, starting from how I got into fashion, probably.
Okay, we can start here, or we can start how you got to the United States.
How I got to the United States? Actually, I was a teenager when we emigrated to United States. I emigrated with my family. I emigrated, back then was Soviet Union, Armenian. I was living in Armenia. And we didn't really have any fashion industry at the time. So for me, it was very exciting to move to America. And my family moved to New York. It was a difficult time at the beginning, the language barriers, new culture, trying to find jobs to survive. I went to Fashion Institute of Technology and I finished with fashion design degree. And that's how, actually my career started. I worked for a few companies, and when I was 26, I started my own business, and I still run my own businesses in fashion.
Did you have this idea back in Armenia to be a fashion designer?
Yes, I actually always wanted to be a fashion designer. Since I was like 3 years old, I would design dresses for my mom, her friends.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I actually have the sketches. And I always wanted to do something with fashion, and specifically design clothes.
I'm not really familiar with Armenia, but what about the clothes for women in Armenia? Do they wear all like black, or they wear like regular clothes?
Oh, absolutely not. It's a modern country, modern fashion, and I would say very stylish, very fashion forward. Yeah, definitely. No, they don't wear all black. No, for
I don't
sure,
know
no.
why I have this idea, but it just looks like.
No, I mean, everybody likes black because it slims you. But yeah, definitely has nothing to do with the country or any tradition.
A lot of people don't believe that they can win a green card. But my personal experience shows the opposite. I am a green card lottery winner, and I can tell that everything is possible. How did this process start? How did you move here?
Well, it was very interesting because my father just won the green card by the lottery.
Really? The lottery?
So it wasn't that difficult.
Oh, okay, so you won, and a lot of people, they have doubts when they win green card, they are thinking, some people are thinking like, okay, let's play and we're gonna see if we're gonna win or no, and we will think after. And some people, they won and they said like, oh, we don't want to go. It was just to see if we are lucky.
Oh, I see. Well, for my father, it was more like, if I win it, then it means to be. So for him, the mentality was then it meant to be. That's why this happened. So we have to take this chance.
What did he do back in Armenia?
He was an engineer.
Engineer.
Yeah.
And what about your mom?
My mom was also, they're both mathematicians and engineers, so they were scientists, both of them. Yeah, and they actually continued their career in America as scientists.
Oh, really?
They just retired last year.
Did they support you in all this fashion?
Both of my parents, for my mom's side, they're all doctors, and my father's side, they're all scientists. So it wasn't very clear what it is fashion, what is fashion industry. But however, they were very supportive of me, and every step I took, they were like right behind me. Yeah, in that sense, I always had emotional support from my parents with whatever choices I made in my life and my career. They were always there.
That's awesome. When you have your parents' support, it's really important, right?
Definitely, yes. You feel stronger and you feel more confident.
And how old were you when you moved here?
I was 18.
18.
Yes.
It's interesting age. Did you feel like you miss your friends and you don't want to move,
Definitely. The first half a year was a bit sad. I was thinking about back home, about my friends. But there was also many new exciting things happening. New York City, very big, it was crazy energy for New York. So it was it was like, ups and downs. I would miss my friends, and then it would be, well, but New York is so great, and I'm just so happy to be here, and there's so many things I can do, until I found my friends, and that's when I got used to living in New York already. But the first year definitely was not easy.
New York is a fashion capital of the world. Paris and Milan might disagree, but that's true. The fashion district in New York is referred to as #1. New York is an expensive city. Where did you live when you came?
Well, my parents decided to move to New York.
Why?
I'm not sure why. Well, maybe because my aunt and uncle were already living in New York.
So you had
So
family.
I'm assuming that's why, but I also really wanted to move to New York, and so did my brother, because we had an option, Los Angeles or New York, but we really wanted New York because it's city, the energy, the university I wanted to go, my brother wanted to go, so it made more sense.
So you already knew what university you want to go, back in Armenia or when you moved here?
I kind of had an idea of the universities, and I know that the fashion industry is associated in New York. Back then, Los Angeles didn't really have as much fashion industry. Right now, Los Angeles has probably more fashion industry as far as production and production and manufacturing and fast fashions. More of them are here. When New York is more about like high fashion and just runway shows and fashion week. But back then, New York had the fashion district. The industry was huge in New York. The productions, factories, everything were there.
What about your parents? How was it for them?
It was difficult for them. It was very difficult for them because here they are in a new country. They had to learn the language. They had 2 kids to support. So I would say it was very difficult for them. They would work 2 jobs, and it was hard. I would say the first few years was very difficult for them.
How long did it take them to kind of feel good?
I would say 2-3 years. Yeah, even though they both found jobs like within 6 months at American companies, but it was not easy transition.
What was more difficult, not knowing the language or the whole mentality and environment?
I would say the whole mentality, not seeing your friends, not seeing your family. Like back home, they would gather with their friends, 2-3 times a week, and here they are, not a lot of friends. New York's a very big city, even though we had some friends. The commute was so far between the city. I would say that was harder because they both are very smart people and they learned the language pretty quick. But yeah, I would say missing the friends and culture. But then they adapted to the culture pretty easy.
Are there many people from Armenia in New York?
Not that many, no, not that many. There was very, very small community in New York. Actually, I only know my Armenian family in New York. I didn't have any friends, but here in Los Angeles, it's the biggest
Yes.
community. I feel like probably more Armenians in LA than in Armenia itself now.
Seriously?
That's how I feel. I'm not. Maybe I'm wrong about
That's
the
how I
numbers,
feel.
but I definitely feel like I live in Armenia.
So when you moved here, did you apply for the university right away, or you took some classes?
First, I worked and I took English classes. I took some preparational classes because I had no knowledge of actual fashion or like drawing or sewing or cutting. None of this. So I took a job as makeup artist at Lancome, and I simultaneously was studying how to sew and how to write in English. My writing wasn't good. The speaking was good, but the writing was very bad. So I had to study on that a lot more, high school and after high school. Yeah, and then I applied for college.
Can you tell the whole process for the people who want to be a fashion designer here? What kind of step they have to take?
Mostly, I think they should just try to get their idea on the paper somehow. It doesn't have to be perfect picture, because it's a sketch, it's not a painting. So you don't really have to be the best artist, it's not art, it's just a sketch that puts your idea of design on the paper. And from that you can go into construction. So that would be definitely one thing, not to be afraid of drawing, because you don't have to have the most perfect skills for that. And definitely play around with fabrics. That's how I started. Just got a lot of fabric from Garment District in New York. I went to the store and I got a small hand sewing machine. It was very cheap, and they financed it at that time like $20 a month payment. And I just started to play around with these fabrics. I started to cut, make things, like 8 out of 10 would be horrible and I would throw out, but 2 of them made some sense. It's just, yeah, don't be afraid of learning, experimenting, the process, it should be more like, I would take the scissors in my hand and something would come out of it. Like, it should be natural. Just don't be afraid, I would say. Have the confidence and don't be afraid.
Can you tell me what university you applied for and what kind of steps you have taken?
So there were 2 universities at the time that I wanted to go, Parsons and Fashion Institute of Technology. Parsons was private school, so it was a lot more expensive. FIT was public, state college, and it wasn't that expensive. So I figured, what, I should just go to FIT and I can afford to pay for my classes. Because for state residents, they were 50% discount. So it's like, this is more doable than paying $70,000 a year. Back in 90s, that was a lot of money.
It's still a lot of money,
That was a very easy decision for me, Yeah, I didn't want to take insane amounts of loans and then be like, oh, I'm working all my life to pay my loans. I don't know, it was an easy decision.
Okay. And how does this process work for this industry?
So for Fashion Institute and any fashion colleges, they look at your GPA in general. And surprisingly, the GPA has to be really high.
Seriously?
Yes.
How high does it?
Mine was 4. I was always a straight A student.
Oh my God.
Colleges, high schools, everywhere. So they definitely do look at it because a lot of talented kids do come with great designs and great sewing skills, great drawing skills, So then definitely they look at GPA because there are insane amount of talented people who come.
But I mean, if you're talented, doesn't mean you're doing good in a school.
I know, that's another criteria they look like. Below 3.5 is very difficult. Yes, in any fashion college, I would say. Yeah. Maybe it changed right now, I'm not sure, but back in the day it was very important. Yeah. I mean, a lot of the students who weren't admitted to the college, they would take just the class without being admitted to the college. They would take the class and eventually they would take them in, because a lot of the students would drop out second semester. You know, they would decide it's not for them. So a lot of students would drop out. It was very difficult to have. I mean, we had a draping class, which was 2 times a week, 4 hours each time, and it was only 4 credits. And then we had all these classes that were 0 credits that we had to take, and we had to do an insane amount of homework. So a lot of the students would drop out. They would realize, you know, maybe it was just the wrong thing for me. And then the students who were taking the classes, they would have the first opportunity to be admitted.
That's cool.
Yeah, so if you like, you know, I would say if someone is not accepted right away, you know, they should still take the classes.
Did they take you just by your credits,
Oh,
or
absolutely
you had to do
no.
something
You had
else?
to do, they would look at your sketches, at your skills. They would look. You were required, at that time, we were required to present 10 garments that we made ourselves and prove how we made them. So photos of the process, how we made. We had to know some basic sewing skills. And they would look at the sewing skills, drawing skills, the garments that you make. And we were required to take photos of these garments. So that was required as well. Yes. So these are basically the exams or something that they looked at, definitely.
Did you submit it online? You brought them, or
There was no online at that time.
I keep
There
forgetting.
was no online. It was different live. We only had the Motorola cell phones, the flip phones. So yeah, I would go to the college, to the admission office. There were huge lines. I would stay in line until they would take you. They would look at your stuff, and then the photos you would mail out. You would.
Did they tell you right away, or you had some time to wait?
No, I think it was. I'm not sure right now, but maybe about a month or month and a half. You had to wait to know. And then there was a list. You would go to the college, and they would put the list of those who were accepted. It was on the door, and then they would send you a letter in the mail. Yeah, I'm sure now it's online, but yeah, back in the day there was no internet. There
was the
was
same,
internet,
yeah.
but it wasn't.
Yeah, it was as much as we have right now.
Yes.
And how long did it take you to graduate from this?
I graduated pretty quick because I took a lot of the classes fast, and I took winter class, summer class. About 2.5 years I graduated.
Just 2.5
Yeah.
years.
The 4-year program. I loved to be in college. I would go there like day and night, weekends. I took summer classes and winter. I just wanted to finish as fast as I can. And then I'm like, oh my God, I miss being a student.
Yeah, I know. Do you still have friends from this college?
Yes, I do. Not a lot of the students who were with me ended up working in fashion. Only a few. I do have friends that were still in touch. My friend Danil, who lives here in LA now, he moved, and my other friend Christine. I have a lot of friends, yeah, and they actually moved to Los Angeles too at some point.
Comparable to our university, I'm comparing Ukraine and the United States. It was a huge difference. About you, I have a question regarding your teachers. Did you feel any pressure, when people said to you, like, you're not talented?
Oh, absolutely not. No. The professor, because talent is such a unique and gentle thing, and I think it's so hard to judge.
But did they tell, like, you cannot get this information? I told you like a couple times, you're still not getting it.
There were technical stuff they would go over a few times, but in general, to talk about talent, I mean, I don't think anybody can be judge of it, Beside the general public, yes, like it's an opinion of masses. It's not an opinion of one person. So the professors, never judged you're talented, you're not. A lot of the students, they understood on their own if they want to continue or if they can't make it there. It was a lot of pressure because we had a lot of homework. We had an insane amount of homeworks, and we were great. Every day we got a grade for homework. Unlike other colleges when you don't have that much homework. In fashion college, we had an insane amount of homework. We all carried suitcases to college, full of garments and fabric and rulers, pens, scissors. And yeah, they graded, and there was a pressure to do your best. Like when it was the technical part, like sewing class, it was very frustrating for a lot of the students, for me as well, because it wouldn't come out perfect. And then we had to redo it. So I remember that professor was strict, but she had to be strict in order for us to learn it the best.
Succeed.
Yes, but as far as killing a talent or disorienting a student or being rude to the student, I never had this experience. No.
What happened when you graduated?
Oh, when I graduated, I didn't go to graduation.
You didn't go
I
to the
didn't want to wear those stuff.
Why? It wasn't fashionable?
I just never liked them. I still don't like them. I think they're horrible. I don't know. They should be made nicer.
You should propose something new. Some new fashion for the graduation.
So, yes, when I was a second semester student and it was the term garment, it was the final exam, I came up with this interesting design that you could transform it and make few different tops of it. So I'm like, okay, instead of one garment, I'm going to show 7 garments. And I made the 7 dresses. I got an A, and it was summertime, end of May. My parents were going to Miami, Florida for vacation. I was like, oh, Mom, take these dresses with you. She comes back, and she's like, oh, so many people wanted this dress. They asked, maybe you should make it. So I went ahead, and I bought some fabric. I had sewing machines at home, so I cut it, and I started to give to boutiques in New York. And the next week, they started calling me, bring more, bring more, bring more. So,
you brought like samples?
I was like, can you sell it? They're like, yeah, give me, we can sell. Back in the day, it was easy in fashion because, so yeah, fast fashion didn't exist, like stores, H&M, 21 Zara. I mean, I love all the stores, but they didn't exist at that time. So for fashion designers, it was like really easy. We could make clothing at home. We would take to the boutiques, and there were insane amount of boutiques in New York, everywhere, in Soho, everywhere. And we would give them on consignment our garments, then they would sell it and call us back, pay us, and take more designs. So it was very easy. And they started calling me back, asking more for this dress, more. And then eventually I was like, oh, maybe I should create my brand. And, so my name was Von, my nickname was Vonnie. Everybody was calling me Vonnie. So, and that's how I came up with my brand, Von Vonnie. It was born in 2001 in May, so it's actually 20-year-old this
20 year
month.
old?
Yeah.
Wow.
And,
Congratulations.
thank you. Yeah, I didn't even celebrate it, but maybe I should.
You should. It's 20 years.
I keep saying it in March. I'm like, oh, we should do something in May, and then May comes, we forget. And then later I see like that similar design was made by Halston, like an idea of the part of it, like 40 years prior when I made that, which I had no idea of at that time. And then this dress really took off, and then my other dresses took off. And I stopped working for other companies. This I'm talking about my second semester, like 6 years. The dress was making, and then at the 7th year it really took off internationally.
7 years.
Yeah, 7 years of the company took off. At 7th year it took off.
So you
big.
sell them all over the
All
world?
over the world. We had showrooms in Moscow, we had showrooms in Milan, in London, in Dusseldorf, Los Angeles, New York, Chicago. It went big. Mexico City. So it went international, huge,
How
everywhere.
did you make it work internationally?
It kind of happened. So I had a presentation in New York. I was 27 or 28-year-old at that time. In my showroom of New York, we had a presentation, and we invited a lot of different fashion editors. There were editors from Russia, there were editors from Italy, and when they wrote about me and about my designs, I heard back from some buyers, and then distributors, and then some showrooms, and that's how it started to take off.
That's great.
That just organically happened. And then we sold it for another 8 years, and then it came down. It
a
can't always
fashion.
be good, right?
Yes, it's a fashion.
Life is waves.
What are you doing right now?
Right now I moved to Los Angeles. I live in Los Angeles about 6 years now. I didn't live here fully 6 years. Half of it I lived in Milan, Italy, and half of it I lived in Los Angeles. Now, when the quarantine started, it all started in Milan. So I had to run out thinking it's never going to happen to America. Then it happened here 2 weeks later. But yeah, after the quarantine, I moved here. I've never been back to Milan. I've been living in Los Angeles. I started to like Los Angeles because before for me was, after New York was a little bit of a difficult adjustment to
Los
move to LA.
Angeles?
Yeah. Like I would love it. It's so nice and quiet, and people are relaxed. But then, like 2-3 months later, I'm like, oh my God, I miss the energy. I miss like city life and something. So living half LA, half Milan, there was a balance for me: city life and a quiet city life. But now I just learned to love LA so much more. That I'm here, and I've discovered a lot more, and I made a lot more friends, so I can call it my hometown now. Finally, after 6 years living here.
6 years. What about Milan?
Yeah.
What did you do
I
in
love
Milan?
Milan. I actually went to college in Italy for a bit. I worked in Milan for many years from our showrooms. It was one of my favorite cities in the world. It's a small city. It's still busy. There's still energy. And, there's a saying about Milan that the beauty of Milan is behind closed doors. So only the locals know the beauty of Milan, and the place is not a very touristy town because there's not much to see as far as architecture, but there is everything in Milan, everything else. If you know the town, it's one of the most beautiful places.
What are the most beautiful places to visit except what the tourists know?
In Milan, besides the cathedral. Well, Milan has an amazing cuisine. So the restaurants there are fantastic. You have all the restaurants that you, again, need to know where to go. There are many amazing restaurants. In Brera, you just walk around. Brera is not very touristy. It's just like area, let's say Soho in New York, full of boutiques, fashion shops, interesting people. Another beautiful thing about Milan, you're only 1 hour away from everything else, pretty much. If you want to fly to Paris, it's an hour away. And the tickets is 50 euro for
So cheap.
back and forth. It's nothing. My Uber from my house to downtown is more sometimes. So
Welcome
that's
to
another
LA.
beauty, yeah. Or, you can take a train ride, and in 40 minutes you're at Lake Como. All the lakes are around. Everything is nearby, and there is never a boring weekend in Milan because you can always come out for 2-3 days, take the train and you're somewhere, or take the airplane and you're somewhere. And local traveling is amazing because you travel from the city airport, which is in the city, and you land whatever European city you're flying, you land in the city airport. So it's like 20-minute train ride, you're in the city center. That's another thing that I really enjoyed living in Milan.
Do you still have a showroom in Milan?
We closed it right before quarantine. Working more online right now. I'm preparing to work more on the internet now. Hopefully one day we will open, or we will not. We'll see, because fashion changed. A lot of the showrooms started to work online for the wholesale buyers. That's how we're working now in America. We're working through wholesale showrooms only. We don't have any physical showroom now.
Yeah,
And it's transitioning to Europe too.
to Europe too. What do you like about Los Angeles and what you don't like about Los Angeles?
I think what I didn't like about Los Angeles, that now I'm okay with it, it doesn't bother me, that I come out of my house and I don't see anyone or anything. It's just homes and homes and homes and homes. Like living in New York or living in Milan, you come out of your apartment and there are restaurants underneath your building, shops, boutiques, there are people. There is action, beautifully dressed people walking down the street. Here I come out of my house and I see house and house and house, and I can walk 20 minutes and I would never see any person. So that was the part that I really, really, really didn't like about Los Angeles when I first moved. But now I think I got used to it. Yeah, and it was strange because living in New York or living in Milan, if you come out of your home, you know, you really need to look presentable.
Yeah.
And after I'm moving here, but like when I would come out, like, you know, I'd be like, oh, are you going out? Are you going somewhere? Is there an event? I'm like, no, I'm just going to work.
Yes.
And then eventually I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to wear sweatpants. I don't see anybody on the street. I'm going to be on Uber. I'm going to be in the car. And I was like, you know what? No, I got to change back from that.
Are you doing anything else except dresses? Do you have any other? Or
Yeah, hobbies, you mean? Or...
no, I mean like you created those dresses, Transformers, right? But are you doing something else except those dresses?
Yeah, so I have like few underlines. So one of them is it's called Linen Skies, the brand. This is very casual, very easy, breezy stuff. You know, mostly we use linen fabrics or cottons. This is one of the lines that I'm doing, and I also wanted to relaunch my collection under my name, Von Sargsyan, which I'm planning to launch in September. There are some samples of that collection ready now, which I can show you later if you wish.
Of course.
Yeah. And then I have another project, which is basically a shop. You've been to our shop showroom in Pasadena. So this is, we work with different brands from all over the world, like young designers, small brands. It's a co-working showroom. So they rent little spaces at our showroom and we represent their brands. And that's another project that I have. And then I like to cook. So I love to cook so much that I went to take like pastry classes in
Seriously?
Italy.
I would love to try something.
Yeah, we can make something today.
Why not, right?
And I started to bake a lot. And I was like, oh, you need to open a cafe. And I was like, I don't know, maybe I should. So I opened a cafe in Los Angeles. Like this was 6 years ago. And
Showroom
I was
cafe.
baking there. But then it was like about 8 months in the business, I started to realize that, you know, some things are good to be as hobby. So like, you know, baking should be a hobby. I can't run a cafe. Like, it was too much of a work. And, you know, when you make something for your friends or family, the love that goes into this is different. And when you go to buy the product, you choose the best available. You know, the price, you don't really look that much because you're buying one small pack of butter. But when you're making for large amounts, then you need to have a compatible price.
Yes.
So then I was like, oh no, let it be a hobby. But we sold the cafe profitably, so that was fine. I mean, that was a great
didn't
experience.
lose money?
No,
Okay.
we didn't lose anything. Thank God.
good.
I lost a lot of money in fashion, but in the coffee shop, no.
Good. And I would like to see your dresses. Can you show me,
Definitely.
please?
Absolutely, yes.
Let's go.
So this was the dress I was talking about.
That your mom wore.
Yes, that I made at the second semester. I had different skirts, but I found this is the most commercial version. So it's basically a halter dress when you can wrap differently on the back. It's one size, so it fits from size 2 to 10 because the fabric stretches.
Okay.
So let's say if you want to have some sleeve, you know, you can open the sleeves here. And then voila, you have this look. You can wear them one shoulder. You can bring it there, and then you have a one shoulder dress.
So cool.
Yes, so that's another version of it. gonna show you one more way, and then because it's endless, we're never gonna finish this whole the shooting. You know, so that's
This
another
is
way
so
you
cool.
can wear it. Yeah, you can also wear it like a skirt. Let me just show how to wear like a skirt on this
Oh
one.
wow, so many ways you can wear it.
Yeah, there are a lot of ways you can wear it. It's jersey, very easy to travel with. Oh, you can also wear it like strapless.
But-
So you can wrap it like this.
Oh,
And then you have a strapless dress.
so one
Voila.
dress, and how many versions you
I
can?
don't know. I've seen a lot of versions. Like I showed it in like 6 ways, but then the clients, whoever bought it, they showed me more and more and more and more. So it's all like hundreds of ways I've seen
That's
so far.
amazing.
And then you can, voila, you have a skirt that you
You
can
buy
wear
one-
with any t-shirt.
You buy one dress and you have dresses for every day.
Yeah.
Right?
So this was my most popular design at that time, you know.
I'm impressed. It's really cool. Really cool. Maybe I should buy one.
Sure, I'll give you one. You don't need to buy.
And I know you want us. You want to show us something else.
Yes, I want to show you my other collection. So I'm gonna take this out, and I'll just bring the rolling racks, right?
Okay. Are these wedding dresses or?
No, these are not
White.
wedding dresses. So I fell in love with the color white. So I was doing everything white in summer. So this was from my collection with my name. So the dresses look very like, you know, high-endy, but they're really not because the edges are raw edge. So the new collection, everything is raw edge and the fabrics are raw edge. The fit is easy. It can be belted.
I like it a lot.
I feel like, yeah, we were wearing too much pajamas during quarantine. And I feel like
I like
everybody
it.
misses to kind of dress up and
Do I look good?
kind of have fun.
What do you think? Should I buy one?
Yeah, you look
Yes.
very nice.
Yes. No.
So I think, yeah, we're missing some fun in
Yes,
fashion in our lives, you know.
definitely.
So my spring collection was a little bit dressy, fun, but it's dressed down like the way the stitches are done, you know, it's raw edge. So you can wear it with flip-flops, flat shoes, you can wear it like daytime, however you want. You know, very simple dress again that you
Yeah.
can do with, wear it with flat shoes, sneakers even, or like flip-flops.
That's great.
Oh, and then I liked like kind of coats, like these are like coats they can go over anything.
Oh,
So it's really like dressy, but can go over jeans, you know,
Yeah.
or shorts, or maybe like if you want to have more dressy option, it can just go over another dress, you know.
Good. Really
So yeah,
good. I like it.
these are a few things from my spring collection that I wanted to show you.
That's awesome. I like it. Maybe I'll buy one. What do you think?
Why not? You should. I can sell.
Give me my money. And you told that you like cooking, right?
Yes, I love to cook, and I want to show you my most favorite dessert. One of my most favorite, but my friend's most favorite. They have always asked me. It's called Napoleon. It's basically milfei, but the Russian version of it.
The whole cake, Napoleon.
Not the cake. It's gonna be like, yeah, not the whole cake. I'm gonna make how to say, individual pieces.
Can I help you?
Yes, let's go to the kitchen.
I didn't know that Napoleon cake initially named millefeuille, which means 1,000 layers in French. But it's not an exaggeration. Some versions today can have up to 2,048 layers.
So you ready to cook?
Yes, it's
There's
all
your
prepared.
apron. So we're gonna make Napoleon today. Let me just go over the recipe. The dough we buy it's already pre-made, so it's very easy to make. So we're gonna start with the custard. For that you need half a cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of flour, and then what you will do, you would take these and mix
Okay.
evenly, so there are no bumps in there. Okay, and I'm gonna go
try
ahead
my best.
and prepare the dough. So the puff pastry dough you can buy at any supermarket. Just cut it to the shape you want. I put a foil on the baking sheet, then I just spray it with the non-stick.
What do you think?
I think you're doing good. Just a little bit more, and then we're gonna add the milk.
I think it's perfect.
It's perfect. Yes, you're doing so good. Now we're gonna add the milk. There you go.
Here.
So this is ready to go to the oven. We're gonna bake it at 350 Fahrenheit for about 30 minutes.
Okay.
So this looks great. So we had here half a cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of flour. We have 1.5 cup of milk, and then 2 eggs, but we're gonna only use the yolks. So we're gonna separate the whites with the yolks from the yolks. And then voila.
Okay.
The egg whites you can use in the morning to make like an omelette, or if you are making meringue, that's also a great idea. So what we do, we're just gonna slightly whisk that, and then slowly we're gonna add the milk. Perfect. So once this is done, we're going to add this to the milk. So we're gonna add it gradually. Yeah, let's make a little hole in the middle. There you go. You can put it flat because it needs to be flat. Yeah.
And I have to mix it while...
And then you just add this there and lightly mix it until it's even.
Oh, I haven't done it for a long time.
Let me show you like a little technique.
Okay.
If you do it flat like this, it actually goes easier. Okay.
What do you mean like this?
You are mixing like that, which is harder, but if you do it like this way, it actually goes quicker and easier.
Good to know.
And it's done. So we're gonna put this on the stove, and we're gonna cook it until the custard is firm.
Oh, I found some bumps.
It's okay, you can do it while it's on a gas stove.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll make it perfect.
Sure. Okay. So you can go ahead and just mix it this way until it's firm. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we are good here. We baked our puff pastry dough. It's ready to go. They sometimes come out different shapes, but it's fine because some of them we're gonna use for the cream and some of it we're gonna crush. This is our custard. So after making the custard, we're gonna put on a plate, let it cool down for a couple of hours, then you put it in the refrigerator. So after this, we're gonna whip the custard. So let's take the mixing bowl. We're gonna transfer this here. And then we're gonna add just a little bit vanilla.
Vanilla.
Yes, for taste. Okay, we're gonna whip this a little bit, and then the Napoleon is ready. So it's a really good quick dessert to make because it doesn't take that much time.
So if you want to make it faster, you have to prepare it like the day before?
You can make it in advance. Yeah, the custard you can make in advance. It takes about 20 minutes to make, and then it's actually ready, so you don't need to whip it that long.
But you said you have to put it in the refrigerator.
Yes, so it's gonna cool down 1 hour, 2 hours, and then you put it in the fridge. You can make it the day before, and then the next day you can just make the Napoleon.
Looks good.
It's very, you just maybe a couple of minutes and you're fine. You don't need to make it that long. So there are actually a few ways of Napoleon. So the way I like it, it's crunchy. Which means I'm gonna put the cream and then I serve it right away. But if you want it to have non-crunchy, then you can prepare it the night before and then serve it the next day. So you cut this in half, take a generous amount of the custard, the cream, voila. I like to use on both sides. Okay.
Smells good.
Smells good, you'll try it.
It's really good.
After we're done, you can try. Put this on the side a little bit. So I love the crunchy one, so I just make it in individual plates and I serve it individual.
Is everyone hungry now?
Yeah, we have to.
I'm ready to eat.
for everyone. Okay. So then we're gonna take one of these guys. You know, I usually like the perfect shapes I keep for the actual dessert, and the ones that don't come out so nice, I use to crush it. And then we
so
crush
yummy.
this on top.
I am so ready.
And then we take a spoon, but I don't suggest using a spoon to eat because it crushes. You just eat it with your hands. It's a little bit messy, but it's the most delicious way to eat.
Baked.
So you know you can garnish it with some berries, some edible flowers, or like sugar powder. But I like to keep it this way because there are already enough calories in there. There you go. Enjoy. Bon appetit.
All mine. Don't
It's
touch
all
it.
yours. I'm not gonna fight.
I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna run. It's really good. Don't film me. It's really good. Now you have to finish all of them
There you go.
because they're gonna hunt me around with this cake.
The camera crew.
Yeah, all of them. You know.
Enjoy.
Thank you so much, Juan.
You're very welcome.
A big pleasure to talk to you.
You
It was very
too.
interesting, and I like your dresses a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us.
Of course. Come again. Anytime.
For this one, I will come.
There you go.